test, test. That looks good. Oh, don't need that in my pocket. Move this around a little bit. All right. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave. I'm a woodturner. Thanks for joining me on my channel here. Let's see. I had... Oh, you know, I could buff that piece, actually. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Nah, we'll go with this. Thanks for joining me on this channel. It's Thanksgiving weekend in America. I'm not sure about other countries out there. Anyway, I think if you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving. If you don't, well, hope you have a nice day. Okay. I've got a piece of cherry here, and I thought, since we're in the holiday seasons, right, it would be fun to do a couple of ornaments. So I have this piece. Ooh, yeah, I didn't see that. So I have this piece of cherry. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 2 ornaments out of that. And I've got some blanks for the finial, or wood timber for the finials. This is also cherry. Just it looks like it might have some curl to it, but it's basically the same color as this, and this has got some curl to it too. So it'll be kind of a plain Jane, you know, all one color, right? But I think I'm going to do that and then scorch it. And then on the second one, I've got some Cocobolo here. I think, no, that's Wengi. Wait a minute. Nope, Cocobolo. So I figured I'd make finial, top and finial out of that guy. For the second one, just to have that color contrast between the two, I need to put that over there. So first things first, I got my piece of wood. Well, I've chosen the wood already, and I've already done some preliminary looks at it. I've got a bit of a split going there. It's tiny. I've got a bit of a split coming off here, but this is all going to get turned off, and it comes out this way. You know, that's another thing I got to figure out. All right, let me see the button there. Yep, okay. So I've got this little split here, this one here that doesn't go very far. I've got a split here, and then some chainsaw marks. But I don't see anything that's going to stop me from turning some ornaments out of this. I want to now. I see that the bark itself is loose, and anytime that stuff is loose, I want to get rid of it so it doesn't fly off the lathe at speed and I don't know, hit something me. Fortunately, no one else is here that could be possibly hit by this. Just me, myself, and I. But still, man, big chunk of bark like this cause some not just physical damage, but damage to other things. So let's just take that out of the equation. What do I got going on over here? I think I've got, oh, okay. Thought I dropped a piece of good abrasive, and it looks like it hopped out when I dropped the bark right into. There we go. So that's pretty much all the bark. I'm not going to worry too much about this cambium stuff. It's stuck on there. Well, not that bit. It's stuck on there fairly well. I was going to use my skew to go ahead and round this out, but didn't really see that dude when I grabbed it. So we're not going to go with the skew. We're going to go with the bowl gouge. This will be in spindle orientation, but that bit is not in spindle orientation. And so it'd be kind of choppy at best. Working on that with the skew. Could be downright exciting. And exciting is okay if it's a fun kind of thing. But this flying off the lathe is not a fun kind of thing. All right, let's go where I always start, which is the balance point. So we're a little bit low there. Let's take a look at this guy. All right, I'll start up on. No, I'll start here on this side. So what I do is I drive the point in and then back it out, just so, in theory, the piece moves kind of freely. It's still kind of low, but I'm not really liking that. So let's go here. See, I was going to move the other side, but the way that it's oriented, now I'm going to move the other side. See, I keep missing it by just a bit. I wonder if I just go right there, how close that would be. Pretty darn close. So bring this side up just a bit. And that just a bit was a little too much, apparently. This is a smaller piece. I just want to get close to, I think what's really going to be the difference is that guy. So let's see. These are going to be fairly small ornaments. I think I'll move that there. Let's see. That was my original spot. You know what? We're just going to go with this. That looks like it is fairly well centered. There we go. Let's make sure that we are secure in the lathe. Yep, that's pretty secure. Now I've already set my, I need to adjust this now, but I set it for my skew. So let's get this guy set up for the bow gouge. So what I'm usually looking for on my tool rest placement is I want the midline to be, when the flute is all the way open, right at the midline to meet right at the bottom of the flute there. So that passes, okay. Glasses down. We are sitting at about 600 RPM or so. So if this blank turns out to be too small, I'll grab another one. Let's see what I got available anyway. So that's that extra limb right there. take a look at what's going on. Got to take it down. That won't be too, I don't think that'll be too small. We're not to the final diameter yet. Oh, maybe I can make. Yeah, I thought maybe I could make two slightly different size ones, but nope. Got to get rid of that stuff. Okay, so there was something going on here. Let's take a look at that. Stop and assess every so often. What is that? Ah. So that's a beetle hole. That was underneath the bark. Didn't see it. Underneath the cambium layer anyway. I took the bark off. That appears to be the only one. Don't know what's under here yet. Yeah, just the one. So momentarily considering wearing a mask because of bug dust, but there isn't any in there now because I just knocked it all out. Actually, this would be a great time for this guy. Let's get this in the right spot. Pretty much all my tools, when I set my tool rest up, in general, I want to go right to where, oh, that's a little high. But for this guy to be okay. To where the cutting edge is at midline. How we doing there? Still got a little bit to go. I don't know if that might be a neat little feature because, like I said, on one of them I'm gonna scorch the outside, and the other one will just have contrast and basically finial color. I'm curious what that looks like. It probably won't be saved. So this is where that branch came out, and it's figured and very hard wood. So going with the bowl gouge was just, in my opinion, a better choice to start with because that was sitting out, not parallel with the ways, not in spindle orientation, which is very helpful when you have a skew. You know, I'm actually going to try to capture. I think I'm going to try to capture that. I take it down a little bit more, but no idea how fast I'm going. My gas is probably about 1,000 RPM. Take a look here in a second. Nope, 800. I guess I stopped reporting on that. It doesn't really matter what speed um, you're turning at necessarily. I mean, it depends on what the results you're looking for in some cases. But it boils down to technique, sharp tools. Yeah, I'm going to try to capture that. I think, I don't know, I'm going to check my skew, but I might need to hone this guy. Maybe. Catches there. Catches there. Yeah, let's do it anyway. Whoa. Whoa, I got to figure out. Figure that out earlier. Whoops, pushed the wrong button. And I couldn't quite get it. Spent about 45 minutes and did some searching, so I found what's the word? I don't know. A post blog that tells you basically the steps to get that back in. So I probably will have to redo this setup, which is okay. So I'm just going to hone this guy. And using a diamond card, I'll be able to use it a little bit longer. You can see that. Ooh, let's swap cameras here. Hello? Ah, there it is. Oh, whoops. Okay, so when I go to the other camera, that's another thing I gotta fix. The audio disappears. Okay, so there's a couple things I gotta fix on this. I made somehow or another wrong keystrokes last week while I was streaming, and I messed up my settings in OBS. So right now, this we'll just stick with this camera because I don't have audio for the other one set up properly, which is why we lost audio. Sorry about that. So we'll go back to, let's see, I don't know how far back that was. Let's see, probably quite a ways. You know what? I'm going to go over this again really quick. This won't take long. I've already drawn it out. We can go over this. That way I know for sure the audio is there. So we'll go back. We'll go to this. So when people are talking about skew and the profile of a skew, more often than not, it's just an acute triangle, straight sides. What happens, though, on a grinding wheel is those sides are not straight. They're radiused to the wheel. So what you wind up with when this is freshly sharp, I'm again trying to go to the other camera. When this is freshly sharpened, let me see if I can get this to show just the right. Yeah. Oh, ooh, I think I almost had it. Let's get a little bit more stable. It might be this light to the, or maybe closer. There it is. Okay, so you can see that line down, or that area that's in the center, it's actually lower than the edge and lower than that shoulder because the wheel has radiused it. I take advantage of this when I hone. When I'm honing, I'm only hitting that top edge and then that shoulder. But here you can see that I've done this for a little while. It's getting close for me to time to sharpen this thing again. When I'm honing, I don't want to have to hone that whole thing, right? I just want to hone the very edges. So it's getting close enough. This is how I tell for me when it's time to start or put a fresh face on my skew, because I hone often. I have access to the grinder, it's right there, but often I just need to take a couple of strokes on the diamond blade to get it where it's sharp enough to catch on my fingernail again in either direction, which tells me there's no burr on either side, and I'm ready to go. But always the way this works, and this is another thing that when I talk about, or when people talk about, riding that bevel, you can't do it. It's not possible. When this tool is freshly ground, what's making contact is that shoulder and that edge. Now, anchor bevel cut. So I got my anchor set. I want to set my bevel, right? Now I'm going to get right on that bevel point. That's it, right there. I'm making no cut. I'm right on the bevel. That's my A and my B. However, I need to engage the cutting edge. So I got to just slightly roll it into play. Now that bevel is kind of floating along, sort of. It's not really touching the surface. Just the cutting edge is making contact. So I don't like talking about ride the bevel, that kind of thing. It's not possible. I think it needs to be rediscussed or redefined or something like that, because the grinding wheel puts a radius on everything. Even on bowl gouges, there's a slight radius right there, right in the middle, and right in the middle. Even at the end, that end is not perfectly straight. It looks straight to us, but it is slightly curved right on the end because that wheel is radiused. So you really can't ride the bevel. And I think it's a good practice to get that bevel set. When you talk about your ABCs, anchor, bevel, cut, your anchor, your bevel set to the wood, so you know you're in the right spot and to get the most efficient cutting that you can get. But then you always have to engage the cutting edge, and that involves just a micro movement. It's very, very small, but it's enough to take that shoulder off the wood. And uh, for the most part, there's a tiny little bit. It's kind of hard. The fulcrum is mostly from the top part of the cutting edge into the tool rest, but very, very little bit. There is a slight little bit that will make contact, and there's a slight little fulcrum behind the tool too, and that's how you get your burnished edge, or your burnished look. And you can see right there that's been burnished. But in any case, it's important to note that I think, especially for newer turners, that while you need to practice getting that bevel in contact, right, and getting at the right spot. Here with my skew, the bevel's in contact, and making no cut. Same thing with a bowl gouge. Let's see, let's go with a full cut. I'm right on the bevel right here. I'm making no cut. I'm literally writing what they call the bevel, right? Again, uh, this distance is so small that that little radius doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but this distance is bigger. And the longer that you make your cutting edge, is going to, that distance is going to get even longer. This is set to, let's see, 40 degrees, so 20 per side, or maybe it's 25. I can measure that real quick, but I can't remember. I think it's 25. It's 25, so I got 50 degrees, I think. And it's all just a matter of, I think, a matter of personal taste. I think it might matter too what you're turning, perhaps, because there's always applications that require slightly different ground tools, right? Slightly different ground tools. Okay, that cleaned all that up. This is not a bad size for a ornament. Let's see. Now I need to move it in some. Well, maybe not. I don't know. That's split. Let's see. It's going to be covered in glue. I think it'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to start the first one here. And I need this guy because 1 7/8 is what I need for the Vicmark chuck. And this is not going to be that. In fact, I think that would make it too large anyway. So not using the Vicmark chuck on this, which means that I'm going to have to work with the straight jaws. I think I can get this. A little more around. So this one will be the one that I burned. Because all the figure for this guy is going to be right in here, which leaves me just enough room to space out for the chuck and all that. I'm gonna practice if staying on one side of the skew is starting to pay off. Whoa! Yeah, we didn't want that. Alright, so slightly smaller. Oh, I can see what the issue might be now. Let's do that. Oh, a little bit low. Come on. This will be a much smaller. Let's see, maybe we'll turn it into. Oh, I know. I think I do. Oh, yeah, I'm down too low. Way too low. I think we're going to scratch this one. We'll just make a super tiny one. Oh, I need to take a file of that. Let's go with the hardened steel. I think I may have to. We'll just make it a smaller. There. Smaller ornament. That was the difference. There was a rough spot in the tool rest on the other one, and I could not. It was hanging in. So I need to work on that tool rest. Down in there. I think that'll be okay for. Let me think here. Well, clearly it will have to be this guy for this particular ornament, which is okay. Let's see, but I don't want it to be that guy for hollowing, so we'll size it for this guy. Because I'm just going to hollow these out with a spindle gouge. have not written down the size for these jaws. So let's see, that is 1.5 inches. Okay, what do we got here? 1 5/8 inches. Oh, we're doing fine. So that will be my hold there. Let's see, I want, let's grab this guy. And then, let's see. Oh, I got quite a bit of room there. I don't want this to bottom out. So, what do I do with it? There it is. So I just need 1.5 inches, and I've got 1 9/16, so that's fine. So it'll give me a shoulder to rest on. With this in the truck, let's take that over a little bit. I'm going to try to capture that. Probably need to come in a little. Nah, that should be okay. Whoops. Well, I'm sitting too high to be doing that. Oh, Lordy. I'm having skew troubles today. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Let's take this one down a little bit more. Should have done in the first place. Still got that going on. All right. Whoopsie daisy, come out of the cut. And so what I've got here is, what do I have? Inch and 11/16. So this is going to be the other same chuck. Give it a nice shoulder to register to. Alright, so now what I'm going to want to do, because I will wind up using, maybe, I need to double check how big that hole would have to be for pin jaws. These are smaller than I usually make. Usually when I make them, they're about, I don't know, maybe half an inch bigger, so that I can put them in the chuck and hollow them this way.
Justifer said, I am bouncing around the makers and crafting category and popped on your stream because I have gotten into woodworking as a hobby. I served in the Air Force. From one vet to another, keep chasing your passion, brother. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks. Likewise to you too, and thanks for serving with me. I appreciate it. I hope you have a really enjoyable Thanksgiving. So the hole I need to have is 11/16. I think that's quite doable to be able to hollow that out. So thanks for stopping by, man. That's really, really cool. Thinkity think. Yeah, I'll take these off of here now. Wait a minute. I've got to put a shoulder on this guy too. Whoops. Okay, that's done. Let's see, saw. And you know, hey, while I'm here, since I don't have the chuck and all that stuff in the way, let's see, this is the one I'm going to set on fire. So, oh, I need my mask. There we are. I don't know if I got rid of that mark. Nope. Almost there though. Where is my? There it is. See, abrasives. Ooh, I see I've got a split in the other one. Let me check that out here in a second. Okay, there we go. So I've got a split that goes this way, right up into there. That's not where I'm going to be hollowing. It's not going to, that's on the outside of the wall. I think it will probably be okay. Even setting it on fire. So we'll just clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to get super crazy because the grit that I want to use is fire. Okay. So now let's separate these dudes. What am I hitting here? Oh. Okay. Let's see. Checking out. Sound is good. Okay. Move that there, that there. Get rid of that guy for now. Not sure. Maybe I can use that for something. I'm not sure. Oh yes, I changed these. One click back. Okay, let's see. This guy. I'll go with this guy first. Oh yeah, let's put. The whole time they've been looking at me look down while I'm wearing a mask. That's funny. Okay, so we got that. Oops, I uncovered the confuser again. I think I can permanently cover this up since I'm not going to be changing the camera angle so much. I'm gonna get that figured out. So I can move this guy over there. He will be fine. Oops, wait. All right, let's get this guy set. And spindle gouge of choice. Seems to be a little high. A little high. Whoopsie daisy. It came loose. Let's do this. I'm not quite on center here. Yeah, okay. Let's go that way. Loosened up again. Yeah, I'm not a... This is a great idea, that robust, but in practice, I just don't think it works. So the nice thing about doing ornaments this way is you just need to get rid of the mask, right? Nobody's going to be able to see. At least not like in a piece like this anyway. How thin the wall is. Nobody's going to be able to tell. They'll just be able to pick it up and go, oh, that's pretty light. That's what you want. Yeah, I think that's a good wall thickness. How I normally do these is I hollow them from both sides. Yeah, that's good wall thickness. I think I'll leave that the way it is. So I can hold on to this from the other side. With the other chuck, which I will do later. Woo! Boy, that puppy is warm. So still got my, well, I still need to leave myself a shoulder. There you are. And I think that'll do right there. So we'll take this guy out and we'll work on the other one, but let me know that I can't actually get abrasive up here. And we'll set that dude on fire. So I got some split going on there. A little bit here, a little bit there. And there was one other spot I thought. Oh, yeah, right there. But fortunately, they're in the sidewall. And this is, I don't know what, a quarter-inch thick-ish, somewhere in there. So I'll flip this guy around when I have the pin jaws up there. I'll be able to hold on to that. And I don't have to do much. I really just open this up. Got a pretty good neck there too. Really just need to open this up and then size this appropriately so it's the same size as that. But I was just thinking something. What was I thinking? Oh, yeah. Then I'm going to give myself another option. The ability to go from inside an expansion hold. So I need straight wall there. But that doesn't it's not super important otherwise. Because any tenon that you make, the tenon that I'm going to make anyway, it's going to fit on there, is going to cover that up. And then that's going to be turned off. And the other side too. So we'll see when we get there. Okay, so that's that guy. I don't know if this one will actually work in here. Nope. There. Thought that was sized right. But I am apparently wrong. Yep. So we'll set that up to do pin jaws. Also, they're not quite running true. There. So that's going to be kind of cool, that little figure there. At least that's what I'm thinking. Ugh. That's harder stuff. Ugh. Even the drill bit. We'll be deep in. We can go all the way through on this one actually. Let's see, let's get this shoulder set first. I really should stop putting this away until I'm actually done with it. I'm still wearing this mask that I don't need to wear right now. All right. I could be a little bit thinner. Yep. Could be a little bit thinner. How many times have you heard that? There we go. So I just need to on that a little bit. And that's that side down. Wrong tool. Where'd you go, Dave? There it is. That was pretty. And it's still the wrong tool. Straight walled, but let's just make sure. All right. So this guy, let's see. Let's shape this a little bit better. That is, I can do an internal hold with that. So I will. Oh, that's what I'm missing. A little bit of light. Chamfer that edge a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that'll work out nice. Nicely. All right, at some point, let's see. I need to decide. First, how I'm going to glue these together. And there are several many ways to approach that. I'd like to just have a tenon to glue in there. We'll see how that pans out. I may drill a hole and have a stick that goes through and I can glue it together that way. We'll just see how it works out. I need to get this guy into action. That tells me, oh, for each one individually. So I've got to take this out. Oh, wait, I can measure that right now, I think. Uh, 1 5/8, which is much bigger than this at 1 7/16. Okay. I'm going to apply finish to this side. I am. You know what? I'll put finish on these after. I'd really like to use my. God, you know what? I'm going to use my buffing balm, at least on that part. I had a square. Really, I just need to get this half done. And when I reverse it, I can do the other side. Whew. Burn that in, but yeah, that really brings that out. That's nice. A different and unusual ornament. At least, maybe. But not. Oh, geez, man. You know, yeah, that's all I got to do is turn this now. I've got the whole thing, the whole wall thickness all the way through is fairly even. Another reason why I like doing this with a spindle gouge. Okay, let's get this guy going now. Since you're just sitting here, how's about... Let me take that measurement again. I think it was 7/16. 2, 4, 6, 7/16. I don't want to go crazy with the expansion hold. I just want a good hold, a good solid hold, but not so much that it's going to try to spread this apart. Oop, like that. No, I didn't spread it apart, but it moved. Oh, let me do it this way. Let's get back to this. We will take this guy. Let's extend the point on this dude. That'll work. Give myself a little bit of support here. telling me that hole is not straight? You can't tell me that. Why are you telling me that? It is not. Well, we'll have to fix that first, won't we? So that was where the drill bit went through. You can see that clearly it wandered a bit. And then where did I put that? Right there. Expansion holes are not my favorite. They come in handy, but you have to treat it differently. So bizarre. Ooh, that's going to be ugly. So we will do it this way. Maybe. Come on, get in there. That's why I like using that. Vic Mark, I can get that dovetail. And this will possibly keep slipping. Yep, for sure. All right, we'll figure out a plan B for this guy here in a sec. No, that's not going to work. That is not going to work. Okay, moving on. So we're going to ignore. Well, let's try it with this guy. I've got everything. It's much bigger or wider wall. Come on, get in there. Running true. No, of course not. Why would we? That was a silly thing to say, wasn't it? We'll just get it to running true. Oh. All right. Well, then instead we're going to go with a compression hole. Come on. Come on. There you go. Now I need this skew. That will give me that. All right, this measurement is 1 3/16. What am I looking for? This guy. Ta-da! Easy there, killer. Oh, I guess you dropped that a little bit. Come on. So hopefully that little lip detail, it shouldn't disappear. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. Let's get this guy out of the way. So now that is hey, how's it going, man? And that wall is it's thin enough to go with what I got right now. But there we go. Let me straighten that out a bit. So see if this works out on this guy. I dropped that down here, didn't I? Yep. Oh yeah, that's not going to be big enough. Ha! How funny is that? Okay, so that'll be the top then. This will be the bottom. Let me open this up some more. I guess I need to be able to get the pin jaws in there. Oh, no, don't loosen it. Oh, that's as tight as we want to go. There. Okay, now this guy. Oh, they're the same now, right? Okay. That is the top one. Yeah, that's a good point. Can do that. I'm going to bring up my tailstock. Handle. Come on. What the heck, man? Alright, we don't have to do. I'm going to set it on fire anyway. Where'd you go? There you are. There we are. All right, move this guy. I think I can put you away. Now let's take care of this little bit. That will be, one of these will be the top. Okay, next guy, this guy. What am I gonna do with you, dude? Let's move that out of the way. Tra-la-la. Can't hold it that way. Where did you go? There you are. Hey, 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 get back here. It was worth the shot. All right. Well, this one's not going to pan out. I'm going to have to figure out some other way. I don't have another way to hold on to that. So I'll just have to figure something out. Oh, I know what I could do. All right. So we'll skip that guy and come back to this guy. So he was the one that was going to be plain Jane, like that, and set on fire. Fire grit. Oops. You know, while I'm here, let's see, I set that over here. Whoops, come here. There we go. There's that. What do I do with the other? Oh, there it is. There's that. Fire! And where's my brush? There it is. All right, so we'll let that little bit dry there. Let's go back here.
MAV_K14 said, Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, you too, man. Thank you very much. Set you there for a sec. So I'm not trying to get rid of all the carbon, which is why I'm using a soft brass brush, because I want to hit that with my buffing balm. Let's get that completely cleaned off there. So setting on a fire gave it a little bit of some splits there, which is okay. That's not a problem. As far as I know anyway, it'll add character to it. Okay. I need to move this somewhere. Let's see. How about down here? And then I need some of this stuff. Oh. Okay. So I'm thinking this will look pretty darn cool. We'll see if I'm right. Come on. Need a wee bit more than that. There we go. Huh. Wow. It's kind of interesting. Not really noteworthy, though. But I am getting some of this fibers from this on the surface of that. Yeah, I thought it would do a little bit something different, but at least there. All that's captured. So when I put walnut oil on it, it should shine that up pretty well. Oi! Key. Who's got the key? There it is. Well, that's a first. I'm thinking. I mean, I've never done this before. I mean, made an ornament like this. I've never. I've also never used my buffing balm on something that was scorched, and it's not shining it up like I thought it might. But it's that carbon is just tearing up the surface too. It's a good, solid, smooth. So I think I'm gonna. We'll put some other finish on that, and we'll see how that works out. I think that'll look nice. It's just not what I expected with my buffing balm on top of the fired timber. But that's okay. Okay, this guy. I do need to retract that a bit. Where'd you go? Where'd I put you? There you are. You're not up on your magnet. Now you are. Okay, so this guy is kind of small, so I think the finial will be maybe about that long. particular, where's my, there it is. That particular dude is 11/16. Ba 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 ba. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Still a little thick. There we are. This side. Is 13. Okay. And then I'm going to want let's go this guy. Pop that off there, that off there, and let's get to this guy. Oops. this outer rim here is 15/16. Yeah, I knew I shouldn't put that away already. Let's do it this way. Let's get the tool that does the job. Oh, well, okay. Let's not fumble this around. Almost. Whoops. That'll do. So, one big deal is that I cannot or shouldn't make this. I either shouldn't make this super thin, or I shouldn't burn it too heavily. Let's got something like that going on. Oh, I'd rather it took it out of my hand than drag me with it, so let's go get abrasive again. Wow, 10 o'clock already. All right. All right, so I don't want to make this super thin, but I think I want to thin it down some more. More specifically, right in there. So, like really tiny details will be obliterated by scorching this. So I'm not making a bunch of little codes and beads and stuff like that. Okay, that's that one. Now let's work on this guy. Actually, I need to find out how wide this is first. We're looking at 1 16th. Okay, where'd you go? There. Still 18-inch big. There we go. Hey man, how's it going? They let you out of the restaurant, huh? For a few minutes, yeah. I won't say anything, man. You can hide out here. It's all right. You too, brother. Now, is that too big? Yeah, it's a little too big. And I could stand to lower my tool rest some. There we go. Hey, how's it going, man? What's a day like today in the Great White North? How's that? Oh, what am I doing? I don't want to do that because that can go into the chuck. That can get cut off there. Now we are at the point of doing what exactly? Let's grab. Let's see where you at. There you are. Let's grab this guy. Let's take this guy off.
That is, say, it is extra white tonight.
Yeah.
Got 8 inches of snow.
Wow. We got some coming. I'm just not sure how much. It doesn't sound like anybody's agreeing here. Just not, I don't know. But we're also possibly going to get some lake effect snow here too. So, but I just don't know what's happening there. Let's see if I hold that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Okay. Shoot, I should have just cut it off while it was there.
That is, say, first snowfall of the season and I reported 200 accidents.
Wow. Wow. First for you guys? Dang, man. I'd say you're a little behind.
That is, say, people forget how to drive in the snow until they first snowfall. That is, say, well, at first we won.
Yeah.
That is, say, it has been super nice here for November.
Right? It has been here too. It's crazy. I think it's like 40 degrees right now. I mean, it's kind of rainy outside, but like 40 degrees. There's that guy. And I think today was 50. It's going to. It seems like it's going to disappear quickly, though. And we'll be in those lower temps here before too long. Well, relatively, I guess. 30s isn't bad, right? There we go. All right, set that guy aside. I've got this guy on there now. So now I can finish this guy off. Ooh, let's test fit. Bonk! Hey, look at that. And while we're at it, let's test fit. I mean, it's a bit of a tight squeeze, but it fits, so it ships. Okay. Yeah, let's hold on to here. So I don't care so much about that part down there. Move that guy aside. Oh, yeah, I'm done with that too. No, I'm not. Let's get this done. Sand the rest of that. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Oh, that's weird. All right, so my computer just completely blacked out again. Had nothing. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what the heck is causing that. I will eventually find out. I bet you, though, it might have to do with the fact that it's a MacBook from 2011. It's just not able to keep up with the latest and greatest apps and whatever. So the age of the computer probably has something to do with it. Come here. So I should get that surface too. I'm gonna save myself a headache later. Let's see, is that down here? It is not down here, but this is 16th might be too much. Oh, one of the small ones are in there. Since I must walk away from the lathe. All right, where's that box? Is that the box? Are you the box? Yes, you're the box.
So you could have 10 snowballs and people still don't know how to drive in at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, let's see. Not those guys. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, those are all too big, so it would be these guys. Yes. And we will go with that one right there. Canvas. And that'll be the starter hole for that little eyelet. And that'll save me some headache later. Sweet. Now let's address this dude.
Sure, said, in Indiana and Ohio, it doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter? Oh, they're gonna drive like maniacs anyway. Ohio. Okay, so now that guy's ready. Where are we at? There we are. Fire! A little bit of spritz there. Cool it down some. Not too much. Where'd you go? Where did I put you? I know I had you at one point. Did it fall down? I am in search of my brush. And I think it might have fallen into the shavings perhaps on the other side. I don't think I set it in here, did I? No, and it wasn't in these drawers either. Oh, there it is, way back over there. Okay, and then a little bit of buffing balm, which I can actually use this guy. Oh, that's too much, but darn it. I think I'm going to get away with using these, or get away from using these tins because they get all flexible and change shape on me, and I can imagine other people would have issues with trying to get the lid on as much as I do, so I think I'm going to find a different kind of container. To use for those. Whoops. Okay, that's that one. Where'd you go? There you are. Set it on the shoulder. We'll see if that runs pretty true. Not exactly, but we can fix that. This is not tight enough. Oh, groovy. Hey, man, I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. Getting better. I think that'll probably be really close for applying the buffing balm. Okay, there we go. Let's get that moved out of the way. That moved out of the way. That guy moved out of the way. Fire! trying not to stay too long on one spot because this is kind of thin. Okay, I think that's enough. Spritz the water. Groovy, man. All right, let's see. Where's the... There it is. And then let's get this guy taken care of. It looks really cool when it first goes on. I mean, it's, you know, shiny and all that, but after the carbon in there, it turns it into a matte finish, more or less. Still, it looks kind of cool. It's a nice undercover, undercoat color. Key. Where is the key? There it is. Okay, so that guy's done. Come on. All right, let's set this back where it belongs. Well, I was really hoping to have two of these done, but since I could not get to the other one, I can't quite hold on to it properly. This will be the one for the evening. You know what? I'm going to hit this one more time with the buffing balm and see. Maybe I just need one more coat. I am going to hit this with walnut oil after I glue it together. I think that'll help, but I'm going to see if this will do what I'm hoping. Fairly true, that'll work. That cleaned off. That cleaned off. The hardest part about the black surface is it's really hard to keep clean. Okay. Some of this was the fibers from the paper towel. So let's throw another coat on there and see what happens. Just for fun. How to make a black doorknob with Dave Rife. You know, it's a little bit better. But I really do think I'm going to have to hit it anyway with, I mean, I was going to anyway, but I really do think I'm going to have to hit it with walnut oil to really get it to hopefully shine up a little bit. Although I guess I could still use petroleum stuff, but yeah, I'm going to get away from these tins. They're just too deformable. I can't close it properly. Okay. All right, let's clean this off. Then I will go and grab the wood glue. We're gluing that dude together. Wood glue. There we go. So these tenons fit really, really well, which is great. I have had instances where they did not fit so well, and so I got into the habit of double checking, you know, when I fit these together, the glue joints. Wow, man, that looks really nice. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna lose sound, but I wanna see this from the other angle. Okay, I think I got sound back. Yep. So yeah, everything is measured. Came out really, really nice. Everything is going to be even. That's lovely. So as I was saying, I've had some times where tenons didn't quite fit well. So when they don't, and I prefer using wood glue on wood as opposed to like CA glue or whatever. Yeah, I guess epoxy might be okay for this too. But I hesitate to use those things because they're not as flexible as the wood glue, and the wood glue, I think, holds better in situations like this. But if your tenon doesn't fit spot on like that, what I have done is I'll put this, Coke bottle or a soda bottle, or even your tourist post hole. You set that in there like that. Put a little glue in there, and if you got this set right, it won't leak out, and it'll seal on the inside, even if your tenon isn't perfect. That's one way to get around that. So first things first. Where's my green run? That way. Get my green lined up here. Nope, the other way around. Yeah, there we go. Nope, that first one was right. There we go. What happened, or did have, there it is. Hey, get back here. Thank you. A little bit of water for the glue cleanup. Since this is beeswax on the outside surface, there's no beeswax on where it's glued together. The water cleanup won't mess up the surface any. Okay, that's that guy. Come on, there we go. And I like to do my best to get rid of any glue. There we go. Now we'll do this side. Let's see if I can tell. Oh, yeah, I can. Where the green runs. Just like that. Turn it a bit. No, don't sit yet. No. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so we'll clean that glue up. If I can get my fingernail in there. Okay. Let's go with this.
Values, say, add break.
Ah! Thanks for the heads up. So I don't know if anybody can hear me over the ads or whatever, so I'm just gonna kind of wander. I'm gonna get my get the walnut oil real quick, and we'll see how that looks. Whoa! Dum dum dum. Alley-oop. It's a little disappointing. Like I only got one of these done, but this was kind of cool because I've also never done this before. Oh, I gotta clean that off. Okay. It's a little bit better. Let's go with this. Yes, okay, so audio is back. I've got to do something about that. And I will. I'll get all that figured out so I don't lose audio when I'm switching between cameras, which is very odd. But like I said, I I've hit button combinations in the wrong order or something. Anyway, I changed it. So it looks like this little bit here didn't quite get cooked. That looks like that's where the joint is, and the joint's actually further up. So that's kind of cool. So let's throw down some walnut oil. See what we get. It's kind of neat, man. I'm hoping that it just really, really shines it up. Wow. Yeah, I'd say it does. So hopefully it will keep that once it's dry. I don't want to try to build up like layers and layers of stuff on here. Some of this is just experimentation and seeing, what comes out of it. So I don't know, what I'm going to press this into service for. Maybe next Halloween. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't want to put a bunch of layers on there and then build up a weird patina. I just want this to be, as close to this as possible. I'm like trying to show to the wrong doggone camera. So I shined it up a little bit. I'm going the wrong direction. Let's go this way. Which is cool. That's groovy. I was hoping for that. I can still see the wood grain, although this isn't the best light. You can still see the wood grain, and that was part of the whole point too. And we'll see, man. I don't know. I'll let this dry. I think with the beeswax, the walnut oil, yeah, that's pretty interesting combination. Speaking of which, since our demo committee meeting, we had a demo committee meeting today from Woodturning Club, and one of the subjects is finishes, and so I'm playing around. I don't know if I'm going to get asked for this, but I do a lot of more natural stuff, so I'll probably volunteer for that, the natural finishes. But that's yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go set this inside. Come on, open, open, open. Oh boy. Okay. And then you can go on which drying rack? Ooh, how about that one? Right there. Groovy. Put that back already. All right. All right, so I'm going to rack my brain, try to figure out how I'm going to get this guy turned. I really did want to capture that. So I got to figure out how. Maybe I'll put. Oh, I know what I can do. Actually, duh. I will make the finial for this. I just won't turn it yet. I'll turn the part that is close to here. I'll glue that on, and then I can use this. Before I turn the finial, I can hold it in the pin jaws. And I can finish that off. Excuse me. And that way I can finish that piece and it'll have the cocobolo. So cool beans. You know, hey, I'm sitting here. We've got 20 minutes. Let's shape a tenon on the cocobolo, hey? Where did I put you? Way over here. Why the heck not, man? We're here. So I've got a saw kerf, yeah, right there. I've got a saw kerf on there for some reason. I don't know what the heck I did there, but what I was thinking. I think I was maybe thinking that I was going to cut off a piece to use for a handle for something, and then kind of thought better of it and should have completed the cut. So actually, I'm going to turn that with that down there. This is where I want to be. There we go. It's all fairly even, but not secure. And I'll keep checking that. All right, so I know, or I need to know, rather, how big that is. And that appears to be, we'll do 1, that's 7/8. Do 2, that's a little bit less than 7/8. Do 3, hey. 7/8. So somewhere in the neighborhood of 7/8 of an inch, and I'll need that again, of course. So what the heck, man? I mean, we can do that. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start getting into the live center there with the skew, so I'll pass on that. I need another 1/16 of an inch. So this is Cocobolo. Cocobolo likes long walks on the beach and very sharp tools. A little bit wider than 7/8. Down just a bit. 7/8, just shy of 7/8, and that'll do. All right, now I'm going to shape this side. I gotta go get that bobble there because it rolled off the table when somebody sneezed. My poor meatball. And I'm going to match that curve there. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese. I lost from my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. I think that's really close. Let's see. Ooh, gotta take Cocoa Bell down a little bit more in diameter. It was too tight of a fit. I could speed this up, I guess. I'm running at 400 RPM right now. That's not quite right. I need, not that guy, I need this guy. Oh yes, he's very nice. Okay. So I can finish turning that part of it. Don't need that skew anymore. And let's go. Oh, I guess I don't need, well, I will need that. Okay. Let's move this guy. And my tool rest is a little too low. Okay. Little high. There we go. I always think when I turn Coca-Cola, it smells like a coffee cream. Burnt coffee and burnt chocolate. It's interesting. And why is it a flat spot? Oh, just a tiny one. Okay. Coca-Cola really wants you to have sharp tools. And it does respond really well to sharp tools. There we go. All right, so this does remind me of Wengi, though, some of the features in this, but this isn't Wengi. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. All right, so I want to see that this is a good diameter for that. Yes, that'll work. Okay. So I'm pretty close to being able to glue this up. I don't know if this is going to work either. We're going to give it a shot. I say that because I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to. Well, if I leave that alone, I can hold on to this to be able to put this into a chuck and then turn the finial. Yeah, okay, I'll figure that out. Is that going to be... it's not bad. We'll go with that length. And that will be my hold for, while I'm doing this. Man, that's just... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can say it enough. It's just using the sharp tools, keep your tools sharp. You just get so much better surface off the tool, so much better control. There we go. Yes. Okay, and then I will turn out the other one a bit later. Okay. Okay, why am I saying okay? What am I doing here? Let's see. Let's put this away. This goes away for now. These stay here for now. This comes off. This comes out. Oh, too bad. I thought it might fit right in there. So I guess I'll do it another way. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. And I did put the key away, so we need that guy back. I was hoping it would fit. I could, I could turn it. I could turn it to fit. But that's okay. This will work too. Doesn't have to be a tight hole. It just needs something to hold on to it. So I can let it dry or the glue harden with it in this orientation. Like that. And of course I put the wood glue away. All right, I'll be right back. With the wood glue. But, to be fair, I honestly thought I was not going to turn any more on this particular piece. Now, of course, I have to find... Oh, there it is. Put it in a spot I don't usually put it. Okay. So I'm going to put glue on the inside, and I'm rotating this. I want to get pretty decent coverage all the way in there, because what's going to happen is it's all going to run down. Let me get my grain lined up here. There we go. And that glue will cure all of that into place, or harden, or whatever the term is. Let's get that cleaned up. And I can set this inside in a little bit. And the glue isn't going to run out. Let's see, do I like that orientation, or do I want it more here? And what's on the other side? Whoops. I left a glue mark on the outside. There's a little dot of glue. Let's see. So that'd be the other side. They don't quite. Why is there another glue dot right there? Is it seeping out through the wood, or did I just get it on the wood? I guess I just got it on the wood. All right, so these two, if I line up that side, does the other side line up better? Yes. Okay, so I've got my grain lined up for both sides, fortunately. Yeah. I'm going to set this inside really quick. It'll dry, cure, harden, whatever inside. So let's do that, and I will be right back. All right, I'm going to set this dude right here. And this dude right here. Groovy. So that wraps up this evening's broadcast. I want to thank you very much for joining me this evening. And I really appreciate the support. Watching, engaging in chat, even lurking in the background. You got the channel on and things are running, and that affects the metrics for sure. So thank you to the folks who don't necessarily participate in chat or whatever, but you're watching the channel. Thank you for that support. And I want to see, just for giggles, I've got Abadus, Ruxor 1992. Hello, MabK14, yes. Paranoid Squatch. Justifer, yeah, that was a cool thing. Wiley Smiley Kai, TC Schmo. All right, yeah. That's just who's showing up in speech chat. So to those of you who made it in a little bit later, didn't catch the beginning of the broadcast. Not that this time I didn't go through all that stuff, but my name's Dave. I'm a wood turner, and I started turning as therapy for PTSD, and I found out I had a knack for it, fell in love with it, and then I started teaching it, fell in love with that too. So I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator and a better turner, because the secret sauce is practice. There's no shortcuts. Unfortunately, you have to spend the time behind the wheel, so to speak, to get better at what you're doing. I'm not the only one that will attest to that. but it does take practice. You can get there. You can get to whatever level you want if you have the aptitude with the practice. Sharp tools, learning. There's so many pieces of the wood turning puzzle, as I've heard it said. There are hundreds of little tidbits and pieces and bits of information, all these things going in, and it takes time to get them to kind of integrate together to where it's, I wouldn't say automatic necessarily, but kind of that way. I mean, little things like stopping to check your progress on the wood every so often to see, what's presenting itself in the wood. Do you need to make any changes, change the orientation? Is there cracks? I mean, defects, what people call defects, showing up in the wood, to sharpening your tools, to working with your body mechanics to be able to flow with the movements while you're turning, to give you more tool control rather than taking it away. Um, all those, there's so many things, but give yourself the permission to make mistakes because you're going to. It's just part of the process, part of the learning process. It's not a bad thing. I know I beat the hell out of myself for a while there earlier on. And I thought, man, I should be able to get this. Part of the problem was I didn't have the proper instruction. Part of the problem was I didn't have really, I mean, at least decent quality tools at the time. It was stuff that tools I bought off eBay and $200 Harbor Freight lathe, which I turned, I turned quite a few things out of it, but not the quality that I do now. And a lot of that is the practice. It's just practice and getting the instruction, practicing those, working with my own body mechanics, because nobody turns the same as another. It's just not, you just can't. Everybody's got different, we're all similarly built, right? But everybody has different physical things going on. So we all don't turn the same. And we all don't move the same.
Ooh, practice. That sounds like work.
Yeah, I guess it could. But since it's wood turning, I mean, in my case, anyway, I don't really look at it as that way because I enjoy it so much, which is something I need to definitely work out in the rest of my life. Ah, great. Well, in any case, I am going to wrap this up. Um, I hope you all stay friendly, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope the weather's treating you well, and the holidays are good to you. And I hope to see you tomorrow evening. I'm assuming I will be streaming unless it's an apocalypse, but I'm sure that's not going to be the case. But I do plan to be here again tomorrow evening, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you tomorrow evening. If not, tomorrow evening next week. Anytime you can make it, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Thank you very much. Hope to see you all again soon. Good night, folks.